Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'll be going through my round 3 tips and predictions. So it was a pretty nice round for round 2. So let's go through it. Carlton versus Western Bulldogs. It was a pretty good game. My big call was Walsh and Kennedy to combine for 60 disposals and a goal, and that was correct. And my tip was incorrect. I did tip the Dogs, and that was obviously wrong. Sydney versus Geelong. Sydney won the game quite comfortably, and the Swans, my tip was correct, but wasn't that accurate. And my big call was no subs to be used in the game, and that was also correct. Next was Collingwood versus Adelaide, and Collingwood smashed them. My big call was for Lipinski to get 25 touches and a goal, and his second ever outing for Collingwood, and he got a goal and 24 touches. So I was kind of close there. Essendon versus Brisbane. This was another pretty good game until Brisbane just carried out the game and ran onto it in the end. My big call was for Essendon to not score a whole behind for a quarter, and that was a fail because Essendon were quite inaccurate. Port Adelaide versus Hawthorn. I think everybody tipped Hawthorn to win. Everybody tipped Hawthorn, to lose, and they smashed Port Adelaide. And my big call was for Hawthorn to not kick a second quarter goal, and they kicked like 3 or 4. And then my next game, I tipped Melbourne, and yes, they did beat Gold Coast Suns, quite obviously. My big call was Rankin and Chol, then Rankin pulled out, and I replaced him with Holman, and Holman and Chol to come over 4 goals, and Melbourne's defence restricted them to just the one from Mobby or Chol. Next, North Melbourne versus West Coast. North Melbourne did win this game, but not as convincingly as I thought they would win it by, because West Coast did fight in that game, and in the end, my big call was for North Melbourne to get 8 marks players against West Coast, and that was true. That did happen. Next, Richmond from GWS. I changed my tip at the last minute to GWS, and I am still pissed off about it because Richmond did win that game, and I just did not tip them. And my big call was for the margin to stay between 14 points, and that was a fail. Next, we had Fremantle versus St Kilda for the final game of the round. I tipped Fremantle, and St Kilda did win at quite a good game. And my big call was Fremantle to come back from halftime and win the match. That did not happen. So that's exactly what St Kilda did. So now, I will go through AFL for the round 3. I got 5 out of 9 last round for my tips, and 3 out of 9 for big calls. So this week, we got Western Bulldogs from Sydney Swans. So I'm doing quite well on all my tipping leagues at the moment. This week I'll be tipping Sydney by 2 points. I think they played quite well in that game to Geelong, and Geelong just didn't really show up on the night, and the Dogs just weren't as good as the Dogs on the night. So, yeah, the Swans should win this game. Parker to get 20 touches and 2 goals for my big call. Next, we have Essendon versus Melbourne. This should be a pretty good game. I reckon Melbourne will run out 24-point winners, and Petrarca and Oliver will combine for 65 touches, with Essendon having some injuries to some stars. Adelaide versus Port Adelaide, a showdown. This could be one of the best showdowns in the last 2-3 years, because Port Adelaide are coming off some really poor form, and Adelaide are coming off some okay form. They were pretty lackluster against the Pies, though. I'll tip Port Adelaide by 16 points. I don't think they'll smash, so the big call will be the margin will stay between 24 points for the entire game. Next, we have GWS versus Gold Coast Suns. I think this game could be one of the games of the round. Then again, it could be a big smash. And I'm slowly leading towards the big smash. GWS by 37 points for me. I just don't think Gold Coast would do enough at Giant Stadium. And Haynes and Taylor to combine for 6 intercept marks. Because Haynes did look quite good in his game back from injury against Richmond. And now we have to really step up because of Davis being out. And Taylor should get that big job on Chol. Next, we have the Collingwood game, which should be an okay one against the Cats. I reckon we could win if we really, really try. I mean, the Cats didn't show up against the Swans. If they don't show up against the Pies, then they could do really badly. Then they could show up like they did against Essendon and smash us. So I think Geelong will win this game, and I think they'll win it quite comfortably by 28 points. and Tyson Stengel and Brendan Parfitt to combine for 4 goals. Those two have been very, very good this season. Not too much for goals for Parfitt, but Stengel has been goals. Probably what happened though. Next we have Brisbane versus North Melbourne. This game I reckon will be quite obvious. I reckon Brisbane Lions will smash. They played quite well in that second half against Brisbane, and Lachie Neale was a clear standout. North Melbourne, yeah, they were just there against their performance against West Coast. Not so big. Nick Larkey's probably the biggest positive, kicking 6 goals. But Brisbane's defence definitely won't let him kick over 4, I reckon. So he won't be included in my big calls, because they could even make him get like 1 or none. And that's not really a big call if Larkey kicks 1 goal. So Lions by 45 points, and my big call will be Lachie Neale to collect 35 touches. Bit too risky to put a goal, because I think they will put some time into him. I don't think he'll be able to kick a goal. Next, we have the Carlton versus Hawthorn game. This could be, apart from the Dogs Swans game or the Port Crows game, this could be game of the round, I reckon. Both of these two teams, along with Collingwood, new coaches, 2 and Zip, look really, really good. And I reckon Carlton can win this game because they bet the Western Bulldogs, last year's grand finalists. I reckon they'll win it by 15 points. And no medical subs are going to be used in this game, is my big call. Next, we have St Kilda versus Richmond. Now, I've been tossing and turning, and now that I'm doing this video, I'm sort of leaning against Richmond. At the moment, my tip is St Kilda in my tipping ESPN tipping competitions, but it could change to Richmond. So I'll let you know next video if it changes at all. And at the moment, my big call is random. It's 78 points will be scored at any time for St Kilda, and Richmond will score 82 at any time in the game. So it's going to be weird. Next is West Coast versus Fremantle, last game of the round, Derby. What a way to finish the round. Should watch this game, should be able to catch it. I reckon Fremantle can win this game. They've already played them twice this year in the practice matches, smashed and won. Pretty ugly, but still, they won. Fremantle, I reckon, will win this because West Coast do have players back, but I don't think he'll do much. Fremantle by 26 points. I don't think it'll be a 40-point blowout because of their players back. And Ryan and Ash were really good last week against the Saints. I reckon they'll combine for 10 marks this week. So that's my round 3 predictions and also my round 2. Well, what happened in round 2? It was a bit of a bad round. Hopefully I can bounce back this week. Please like and subscribe my channel. Hopefully it goes well. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week for round 4.